Hey there, it's so good to see you. I hope you're having an awesome day today. Thank you so much for taking the time to see what I'm going to be loving and enjoying / panning for the month of October. So there's a lot here. I wanted to give myself a lot of options because now that I'm continuing to not only move through the chocolate bar palette, I'm finishing more and more of it. I need to bring in different things out of my collection. So first off, it's not really necessarily makeup, but I did want to talk some hair care because I recently applied for a new shampoo and conditioner off the Emilee website because since I have started coloring my hair, just going kind of the natural route with dry shampoo isn't working out for me. So I applied for a brand called Malin and Goetz in the cilantro hair conditioner and the peppermint shampoo. I know it sounds weird, right? Really, really weird. That's why it attracted me. But these are really, really great formula to use on colorful or color treated hair. You know what I meant. They smell really cool. And honestly, like at first I was like, cilantro hair conditioner, like what? It actually has more of a citrus scent. It's really been nice and my kids love using this too. So if you're wanting a new shampoo and conditioner to kind of try out, this is a great thing to put on your radar. So I'm going to include all of the Emilee information below. You do get 8 fluid ounces per bottle. And one of the things that I liked about the claims of this is it says it's for all hair types. It has amino and fatty acid technology. It pH balances your hair because I want to make sure that my color lasts as long as I possibly can because I do have some red and some blonde and that does fade on my dark hair very quickly. So like I said, you know, normally I'm into more like natural ways of washing my hair, but since I've really kind of stepped back into dry shampoo, and I am using the Batiste dry shampoo for dark hair, if you're wondering, so that I can make my color last a little bit longer. So I thought it was key to kind of talk about these, and I'm also trying Monet as well, so I'll kind of keep you posted on both of those. But this is going to be what's in rotation for the month of October in my shower, and I'm going to use it on my kids too. So, okay, let's get into the fun stuff. Talking about makeup. First off, palettes. That has really driven a lot of my decisions for October. You know, my fail-safe here, my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, I really want to focus in on Gilded Ganache and Amaretto in particular. So I'm going to go on and continue using this. So I brought in three palettes. Whew, it's a lot of eyeshadows. So first off, let's kind of talk about Lorac Mega Pro. I'm leaving this in because there are so many shades that are great substitutions for shades that I'm now missing out of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. So if you have this, it's a great alternative because the espresso shade that I did have at one time is a great dupe for Triple Fudge. Also too, looking at some of these golds down here are great substitutions for Creme Brulee. Merlot is a great substitution for Cherry Cordial. Also in here, Camel, Sepia, Camel and Fawn together, or Sepia make a nice dupe for Salted Caramel out of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. And even with brown right here, this is a nice substitution for milk chocolate if you're also looking for an alternative there. So I thought this would be really, really nice. And also what is really kind of attracting me to this palette is this beautiful shade up here called Mulberry. I've kind of been wanting to figure out shopping my stash for a look that would be similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I don't own that palette, but it is one that I've been on the fence about, but I don't like that much red eyeshadow, so I thought this would be a good way to kind of see how I feel about it before, you know, making that commitment down the road to that palette. So on that note, I've also pulled out a lot of different shades and put them into the Z palette because another palette that I'm inspired by is that Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette that was recently released. So these aren't dupes. It's very in the spirit of, or you know, kind of similar colors to the Huda Desert Dusk palette. But I thought this would be a fun way. It's actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today in combination with Strawberry Bonbon, Amaretto, and I'm trying to think what else I used out of it. No, I didn't use Gilded Ganache today. I used like a black shadow, but I thought this would be really, really fun. And this shade right here is the one that kind of attracted me to the Huda Beauty palette in the first place. This is actually an Urban Decay blush in the shade Bittersweet, if you're curious. So just kind of going through here, I wanted to get some oranges and some, you know, warm browns, some golds and some red. You know, I've got this Makeup Forever shade right here, Kat Von D's Raw Power. I'm also using this really bright pink shade. It's super easy and it looks really pretty on top of Amaretto. And actually, when you mix it with the Urban Decay shadow, it makes one of those secondary shades in the Huda Beauty palette. So that was kind of a nice surprise. And also too, I wanted to talk about this shade down here, you know, because I'm really going to be focusing on kind of olive tones with Gilded Ganache. This is a really beautiful shade from Bare Minerals, but if you're wanting a comparison, Sumptuous Olive from MAC is pretty close. Or from the new Kat Von D, not Shade and Light, Saint and Center palette. I believe the color is called Illuminati. It's in my closet right now, so I don't have it on hand, but really beautiful olive green. I love putting this on the lid and then tossing some Gilded Ganache in the crease. So going to be working with this. And then, oh man, the Mammer Jammer palette. I just kind of putting it out there. I'm really leaning towards panning the Mi Vida Loca Remix palette next year from Kat Von D. So I decided to pull this out because I really wanted to familiarize myself with some of these shades because there is a lot of color. I've been thinking about this palette for months because thanks to Hunter, I'm going to want to link her channel, that's me, Hunter, in the description box below, and Emilee Frost, because Hunter's idea was to, you know, pan something that scares you. Kind of, you know, try something that scares you, and this palette definitely is intimidating because there is so much color. And with Emilee, she has really spent the majority of this year panning different looks from this palette, and she really inspires me. So go check out her videos if you're wanting some color ideas and suggestions and looks, because she's come up with some really beautiful wearable ways to wear some color. But also another reason I wanted to pull this out is because I've also been inspired by a lot of the ColourPop videos with that Yes Please palette, and that kind of makes me want to play a little bit with this side of the color wheel with those yellows, the oranges, the reds. Again, throwing them in with Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette because I thought that might be a fun way to kind of shake up Amaretto, because I really it's not my favorite shade in the palette, and it's because I'm bored. So I thought this, like I said, would be a fun way to kind of bring it in. I'm still working on those Bare Mineral shades for Justice League Panning Challenge, so I thought the blue and teals would be fun, and the greens to bring in with the Superman and Aquaman shades, and then some of these purples up here, you know, to kind of put looks together for the, you know, Huda Beauty Dusk palette kind of situation using chocolate bars. So I don't know. I have started tapping into Vox because it is, like, you know, a nice backup for Triple Fudge. It's perfect for deepening up that outer V area. It also works really well on my brows. So like I said, I kind of wanted an easy segue into this palette to see how I officially felt about it, because if I do decide to pan this palette, I'm going to have to pretty much commit to only using this by itself because there is so much shadow. I mean, I don't even think I could finish that palette in a year, but why not? You know, it's probably time that I need to do something bold and really push myself out of my comfort zone. So we'll see. Wish me luck. So, okay. As far as the rest of the makeup that I have picked for this month, again, since I have so many different directions that I'm kind of going in with my eyeshadow, I pulled out a lot of makeup. So let's go with this bottom. I'm not even going to do these in like any particular order. Let's just pull stuff out. In terms of primer, I finished my Monistat Chafing Relief Powder Gel that I love to use as a drugstore silicone-based primer. So I pulled this Amazing Cosmetics Anti-Aging Face Primer out of my collection because I'm a little bit more than halfway finished with this tube, so I'm going to see if I can knock this one out by the end of the month. I'm also going to be changing foundation because I finished my CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation in Creamy Naturals, so I've pulled out my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in Buff Bisque. I really like this foundation, not a fan of the paint smell, but I do like the coverage of this, so it will be fun to wear this for the next month. Then in terms of setting powder, No, actually, let me talk concealer. The other thing that I applied for from Octoly, when I saw this, I knew I wanted to try it. I love the brand Clarin's, and so they had this Mission Perfection eye concealer. It's an illuminating, brightening, salmon colored concealer, and so I applied for it and got it. This is a great product. So again, if you're intrigued by this, go on and check my description box out below. I will link you directly to the Octoly website. This is a phenomenal product if you are constantly on the go and you want to brighten your under eye circles, whether it's a minimal makeup day or whether you're going full glam. This is great. I love putting this on my under eye area in the morning before I take my kids to school. I don't need to set it with a bunch of like BB cream or foundation or powder. It's great stuff. When you open the tube, you snap off the top and then you twist the brush around. They have an on and off switch, like it'll say off on this side or on this side, off on this side. You squeeze the product up through the brush. I go on and apply it to my ring finger so that I can warm it up a little bit before I apply it to my eyes instead of using the brush. But if you like the brush and then blend it out with a beauty sponge, it also works really well. So thank you for sending me this Octoly, because I really am enjoying this product. It's really, really good. Definitely going to be on a repurchase wish list for myself for later. Then in terms of powder, I decided to go on and stick with the Amazing Cosmetics theme, and because I've hit the tiniest little bit of pan, I'm going to be using the Amazing Cosmetics Velvet Mineral Powder Set Setting Powder for the face. So I'm gonna see how much progress I can make on this in the next month. Maybe we'll finish it, because I'm seeing rings all through the pan. Pretty exciting. So it does a really nice job of setting my foundation, so I do enjoy that powder. Then blush, I brought out a ton of things. Like I'm still using my Justice League Painting Challenge Bare Minerals pigments, in particular this Wonder Woman shade. I love doubling it up as a blush, but I am going to be working on these. But I also pulled in 2 more blushes because I pulled out my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush and Blushing Bride for kind of these more berry looks like I'm wearing today. So I have hit pan. I want to expand the pan on that. And then also, I mean, this is a beloved blush from my collection. This is the Clinique Cheek Pop in Cherry Cola. A really beautiful burgundy shade. It's fall. I cannot wait to pair this in with different looks. It's much more of a straight burgundy tone. It kind of reminds me of that Kat Von D Matte Lolita shade. Maybe a tinge darker, but really, really fun color. And I can also pop that into my crease if I want something a little bit more kind of on the brown base than maybe Mulberry from Lorac Mega Pro palette. Then for lip products, I brought out a bunch of different things for this month as well. First off, let's go with what's on my lips. It is the e.l.f. Lip Crayon in the shade Mulberry Maven. If you're wanting a really good dupe for this, it's very close to MAC's Rebel, just for, you know, comparison. Let me give you a quick swatch of what that looks like. Kind of a mulberry color. I don't need to wear a lip liner with this. It's really easy to just throw on and go. But I figured that would be a nice way to get some wear. And then I wanted to make some more progress on liquid lipstick. So for a red, I pulled out my Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Project Chimps. This red is very fiery orange. I really, really like it on the skin since I'm pulling in so many orange and yellow and burgundy kind of tones. So I thought that would be really fun. And then for just kind of an everyday color, I pulled out the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit Lipstick in Give Me Mocha. Just kind of it's very similar to that chai color from By Beauty that I wore all last month. But here is the Give Me Mocha. Actually, they probably are really, really close. I don't know. But I thought now would be the time to make some progress on those liquid lipsticks and have some fun with them. Then for eye primer, I'm still working on my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. There's a lot in there. And then in terms of eye products, I've got a lot of different things here. Really kind of what I pulled for is the olivey tones. And then when I wear more of the burgundy things, I'm going to be foiling a lot of those shadows. But I pulled out 2 lip crayon, or not lip crayons, eye crayons out of my collection. They are literally dupes for one another, but I really want to see which formula I prefer overall. So the first off is the Julep Eyeshadow 101 Cream to Powder Eyeshadow Stick in the shade Olive Shimmer. I fell in love with these after receiving 2 from Octoly. I recently finished the Pearl Shimmer shade, so I went to Ulta and I picked up this olive tone because I kind of wanted to zhuzh up the Gilded Ganache shade and make it a little bit more wearable. So this is the Julep version. And then literally the dupe is this Nude Sticks pencil in the shade Queen Olive. So if you prefer to shop at Sephora, this might be something you put on your radar over the Julep. And this one, well, it's a little bit deeper in tone, but a little bit more bronzy on camera, but in person they look very, very much the same. But here is Queen Olive from Nude Sticks. So I thought that might be a fun way to kind of shake up Gilded Ganache, and also too wearing it with that olive shade from my Z palette, or like I said, if you have the Saint and Sinner palette, or if you have Sumptuous Olive from MAC, that would be a nice way to kind of amp up those shadows as well. And then I also pulled out an old favorite. This is the Wet n Wild Idolize eyeshadow crayon in the shade Pixie, just to give me a champagne base. I want to go on and give this pencil some love because it has been in my collection for a while. This is one of the last backups that I have, so I can always find a use for it. And then my trusty white eyeliner from NYX. I'm back to working on my Stila God Inked Cushion eyeliner in the shade Black Obsidian Ink. I don't know. After the Justice League Painting Challenge, I think I'm going to go on and say adios to this one because I'm not really feeling this formula anymore, to be very, very honest. So, okay, I think, oh, setting spray. I do have a couple more uses out of this Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray, so I'm going to go on and finish it out. And when I am done with it, I am phasing in my Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, cucumber, and green tea. So it works really well as kind of a makeup prep spray, a finishing spray. If I want to foil shadows, this does okay with that. So why not? Let's move out some more makeup from my collection. So that's about it. It's gonna be a lot of get ready with me's coming because a lot of just, I'm inspired on a daily basis. In fact, I've changed my makeup every single day for the past week because I've got so many ideas that I want to try out, and now I need to, you know, sit down and get them all filmed. So lots of videos will be coming my way. We've got Justice League Painting Challenge update coming soon, and before I know it, it's going to be time for another Pan That Palette. I cannot believe it is October already. Like, whew, 2017 has just flown by. So that is about it for now. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you very, very soon. See you later.